my favorite composition in Overwatch. I love this composition primarily because it features my waifu and it makes use of her in an amazing way. This is the dive comp triple DPS with Widowmaker. You run Tracer, Genji, Winston, Widowmaker, Lucio, Ana. And the idea is you put out a shitload of damage to Widowmaker, so Widowmaker lands a shot, you put pressure on with Genji, Tracer, Winston, they all dive on something, Widowmaker can shoot it. You have so many different sources of damage that you can pull the team around, and nowhere is safe for the enemy team. Like, they can't engage you at long range because you've got Widowmaker, they can't engage you at short range because you've got Tracer, Genji, Winston. Oh, and they're actually running Zenyatta, I think, yeah. Because Miranda's Zenyatta is actually really nice. Like, I was impressed with the Zenyatta playthrough.
No need to nano boost anything, really. With
yeah. Genji might have been nice, but... yeah,
and the Winston as well, but like, Zen's a better option for dive if you're not comfortable on landing those distance shots, and as well, discarding means that you can call out those targets and people will actually kill them, because it's easy to go, oh, kill the Ana, but if you put a big purple kill me sign on them, people seem to gravitate towards that a lot more.
Yeah. We won't hear P-Clark for this, but that's fine. Like, he does make some calls, which is good. I noticed when watching. Okay, skip the prep.
I do want to highlight just how easy it is for Clark to just set up. You could put some nice relaxing music to this.
Actually, before we do this, there's actually one person I do want to start on with this. So I think he fucks up in a big way. Where are you?
You're looking for...
I'm looking for Mr. RT himself. Yes, this is him. This is he. Because he's playing the Tracer, and he's very silly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I was so disappointed when I saw this, Artie. I was so disappointed in you. Okay, well, this is a spoiler for what happens. Okay, so with dive comp, Tracer can't go vertically. She has to get in position a little bit early. That's what we're trying to do here. And so we're going to peek out and see, okay, we're having a look. We've been spotted. Lucio knows we're here. We should be ready to evade. We should be ready to avoid either going in or by blinking up and getting to the engage as fast as possible. What we shouldn't be doing is just walking along, not blinking at all, and getting headshot and killed instantly. Because that puts a lot of DPS out of our dive comp. Well played, Artie. Well played. Congratulations, son. Yeah. But meanwhile, while all this distraction is happening, P-Clark has just put his feet up on the high ground on the opposite side.
The Guile theme in the background. This is where, okay, they have a Widow. Again, why the hell are you on the high ground again?
Yep, ready.
Like, what are you hoping to do?
Jumping up.
You've got a nice tidy choke to hide behind, but it's just manic. As soon as Labata jumps them, that shouldn't happen. Like, Dom calls it out, like, oh, they got a Widow, and then runs out of cover and gets headshot. And they're just like, well, what happened? It's
yeah, then he calls out, what happened? It's amazing. I love it. I think he thought the Winston barrier was his own. I don't know. Anyway,
so that's what dive does. It's meant to disorientate. And
the thing is, they even call it's a dive comp. And when it's a dive comp, like, that would actually be a good opportunity to start pulling back. Like, the second they start getting close as well, you've just got to pull back, and you've got to be ready to sort of catch the gorilla as he jumps on you. Like, you're sort of waiting there with your arms open going, please jump, because we're just going to blow the shit out of you. Phrasing. We're going to annihilate you. There we go. That's better. When you jump into us, and we're just going to kill you. Because Tracer's dead, so that's half of their damage gone. Genji is going to then struggle because there's, you know, the follow-up damage from Tracer is a lot better than it is from Genji. So if it's just Genji and it's just Genji and Winston, you could probably deal with that with all 6 of your team. Instead, you're standing in the line of sight of the Widowmaker, who's set up on the opposite side, can't really be contested except by Soldier, but Mercy has to, like, stay glued to him to keep him alive and make sure that he's dealing meaningful damage at this distance. And then Winston just jumps on, and then the distraction happens. Widowking lands a couple of shots. Awesome guy just jumps out with good pick, and then it's easy. And then what happens is quite funny, because from OWC's perspective, they start saying, well, this is now a bad angle for Widowmaker. Widowmaker actually has a couple of options here. She can go all the way around the back, so you can stand in the window. She can actually do quite a lot from this angle.
Whatever it is that she does, you need to have an answer for it, and this is just... It's amazing how much respect you give Clark in this situation, that he's just allowed to sort of stand in a spot, and nobody does anything about it. They're just really happy to give up the objective until they get a Winston, until they start getting stuff themselves to sort of shut it down. And they do that really well up until Clark has to change to Farad. It really was a case of has to, because he was being completely halted with what he was doing. But this is just
I do want to point out as well, I like the fact that 6 a.m. stopped at this point and said, okay, let's get our people back. Let's get ready for a second push. Because all the picks that they just got, it takes longer for them to reinforce than it does for 6 a.m. to reinforce. So 6 a.m. can afford to take a breather and afford to sort of get into position and then start pushing. Because the enemy team has to sort of reposition and reorganize themselves. Meanwhile, you guys are just setting up for the next dive. There's a couple of options for Widowmaker here. You can start pushing in from this angle. You can also take the long route back and try and sneak over and take the R12 on the back, which is also really brutal. I think that was the initial plan, but instead P-Clark decided to go this way, which I'm perfectly fine with as well. Because now they can start pushing in and get ready.
Yeah, it's good as well that you're taking the fight to them, and whilst that's going on, Clark can just sort of set up in this corner and then start picking people off. Because they're too busy worried about the fight that's happening in front of them that, you know, Toykill dies there, and now it's just a case of Clark's allowed to stand here, pick off people from a distance, and you can't not fight the people that are right in front of you here, so it's just nice, easy cleanup. This is just a patience thing. It was really well. This was pretty hilarious.
This is just, yeah, this is silly. This should not be happening. It's like Mercy versus Widow, close range battle. You get the Zarya. I think, yeah, it was cool that she has res. Honestly, like, what gave you the impression she has res? She probably doesn't, to be honest. Just considering all, like, at least not yet, because but the things that kill people are pretty Widowmaker, which is like just annihilates them, and Winston Genji dive, which just kills stuff pretty quickly. She hasn't actually had much time to heal things, so she probably doesn't have res. Yeah, like Widow just has too much space, and I think it looks like Soldier maybe was assigned to try and deal with her, but in that case, Soldier should have just been like Toy should have just been super aggressive and ran at her when they saw her all the way back. Way back. Like at this point, Soldier should have just peeled off and gone on it. Like when you see a Widowmaker, you've got to start thinking whose job it is to deal with that, and Soldier's probably the best on this team to deal with it. So in this instance, when you know Widow's here, you just run at her, because Soldier then wins the close range battle every single time.
There was also a call by Dom when people died to the Widow, like, where is she? Nobody answered.
Yes, that's also, like, everyone should be calling out where Widow's location is, because then people will position accordingly, and one of the ways you counter Widow is you just position in areas where she can't shoot you. In this case, everyone's fighting out in the open, there's not much she can do. Yeah, P. Clark says that, you know, Mercy dived back, so that's why Rez was suspected. Honestly, this isn't your job, Clark, as well. Like, if I were you, in this position, I wouldn't have taken this, I would have taken this. I would have gone up here. Because then they're fighting on the front, you can try and catch respawns, and you can cut off like all the safety on this side as well, coming in. You can actually do a lot from up there. Yeah.
This is what Stux would call forcing plays, and you could have easily died there, and it would have been really embarrassing.
Yeah. And you would have given Mercy res.
Yeah.
Basically, Mercy dealing damage gains res pretty fast. But yeah, you got the point. Now we can set up, now we can start putting pressure. Widow in this area is fucking devastating, especially when you start getting around the corner, and we're going to start seeing why.
This kind of goes with the whole, you've taken that high ground off them now. They can't set up where 6 a.m. set up a really strong defense.
Oh.
Not they're sitting all the way back.
Oh.
Great shot.
Sorry. Just... Oh. Where is it? I've got to appreciate, like, it's going to take forever to get into... There we go. So, continue your train of thought. Sorry.
It's just, they either have to sort of change stuff up that they're a bit more protected from the Widow, or they need to, if they all died together, quickly take this point where Clark is stood now. Like, this is what 6M did so well on their defense. They took this point, and it was really difficult to do it. This is what I mean about playing aggressive, taking that ground ahead of them, because whilst they're sort of taking all of this ground, they can't really get the high ground because there's so much pressure on them. The payload's moving freely.
Yeah, the payload's allowed to do whatever it wants. Because they had some control of the high ground, they can actually start getting it through quite easily. Also gives Widowmaker a lot of options, because now that everyone's especially defending from this area, she can go from the front, she can go all the way around. It's very easy for Widow. Good shot on the Zarya, almost got her. Drops her low, so now they're worried. Good headshot. Beautiful headshot. This is the danger. This is where you really got to have a Reinhardt. Like, this is where peak... If they have a Widowmaker, for the love of Christ, unless you are Hanzo, don't peek her. Like, do not do it, because this happens. And then you lose one of your main pieces of DPS, and then suddenly the payload's going forward. And during all this time, we'll point it out on OWC side, but the communication on OWC team is basically, what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing? Like, they are so confused and so disoriented that it's just like, oh, by the way, guys, the payload's made it all the way around. Again, this is a shot calling thing. They just gotta make the shot call of, we are doing this, let's do it.
They were so scared of engaging, but honestly, every time that they managed to drop down and engage, they did really well. They held this point incredibly well.
Yep.
It's just that fear of being, right, we should drop down and deal with this. And again, this kind of comes under the main tank having the cojones to go, right, we're going to fight now if everybody's ready. But it was just, they were so scared and giving Clack so much respect that they gave up all of that wave for nothing. And again, like, if Clack wanted to, takes the high ground, easy. That's
I just want to point out
how much work it was for for OWC to get the high ground. Clack could just jump up there and take it.
Yeah, this so the plan here. So you can't hear it in the background because I've got the volume very quiet. The plan here was, okay, they went in for a dive. We can actually swap perspective in a second. Like once this Widowmaker goes away, we'll swap perspective and have a look at this entire section, probably from I'd say Jimmy's perspective, maybe on the Genji. We'll have a look at that. Because what's happening with P. Clark and what's happening with the rest of the team is very different, where they planned a dive, Labada dived in, and then basically got no follow-up and just died. Actually, let's follow Artie's perspective, because there's something important with the Zarya that we can talk about. Labada jumped in, basically just died, and then that bought some time. What the enemy team is doing at the moment is they're trying to get their Zarya back into spawn to swap it to a Winston. Even and Artie says in chat, and I think it's kind of correct, a suboptimal call is better than no call at all. Like, if 6 people doing the same thing at the same time will surprisingly be very effective, and this is the power of a 6-stack when you're all doing the same thing. So now they finally got the new team lineup, and what was funny was they spent 6am spent all this time, like, okay, we're going to try and flank around. I'm going to give you visor so that we know where they are when we start positioning. I say this is a bit too early, because no matter what you see, your team's still getting into position, so this isn't this isn't really helpful at the moment. Because, like, you see that they're fucking scattered. Like, this is all 6 of their team. These 6 red dots. They're all over the fucking place. They are not ready. This is Zarya, like, it's under the scope now. But she's in spawn, changing hero. They are literally on 5. They cannot hold this area. If the team was a bit further forward and saw this, they could have just jumped up here, taken this high ground, and then they're never getting through the choke. Ever. Like, you could have just held this choke point. But because this has come out this early, then we have no actual way of doing something. So it would have been nice just to save this for a second or two longer, maybe. And while your team's getting more into position, so that you have the visor ready. Now they have a Winston as Widowmaker. We're a little bit scared. So yeah.
So obviously it would be a good situation to change to the Pharah. Just because now they're sort of trying to play around it, that you can just preemptively change to something else and they won't have a Zarya or a Diva to... Like, you can constantly mess with Pyro here, that he's completely at your beck and call. Again, OWC have to engage here. It's a really good res from...
It's a really good res and then a really good tack visor that follows up and gets it.
But that play only happened because it had to happen. Whereas, I think it was just a confidence thing. You weren't, like, confident in your own abilities to actually...
Well, look where the payload is. Like, Jesus. Like, this is way too dangerous. Think about how many times 6am, like, stalled out the payload, and then think about how many times OWC did it and where they stalled it out.
Yeah, if they team wiped you, that was that point gone. If you had held it further up, even if you engaged higher up and you died, you still had another opportunity to come in and engage again. You have about roughly 3 engagement points on each area of the map. On King's Road, Gibraltar, Dorado is no different. I guess there's probably 2 on Dorado, to be fair. On the first point, at least. But the third one, you can hold it right on the corner, where, right on the left, sort of where you're looking now. Midway up, sort of past where the statue and stuff are, by that door and past the chapel bit. Or right before the point itself.
Yeah.
And you've just got to be a bit more confident to engage higher up the map and not engage when you need to engage.
Yeah,
because
so
that means you have your back to the wall and they have the advantage because you can't make a mistake.
So let me set the narrative right now, okay? The team lineup's changed. We've gone off the Tracer, which honestly I'm fine with considering the vertical aspects of this part of the map. We've got the Zarya instead just to give Labada a bit of extra strength, maybe give Jimmy a bit of extra strength as we start pushing forward. And stuff is moving forward. P. Clark's got his nice snipe off, and the payload is just rolling. Jimmy is utterly free to just stand on the high ground. There's nothing contesting them. Barry's just getting shot. The only thing, like, there's just no pressure. There's nothing to be scared of at the moment. Barry's going forward. Payload's going forward. Team is using it as cover. Labada doesn't have a barrier up, so it's not getting shot. No, it's just Winston, sorry, it's not Reinhardt. But in this instance, you wouldn't put your barrier up anyway.
Yeah, remember how easy that looks compared to how difficult it was for OWC to push that. They had hell rained down on them whilst they were pushing that part of the map. And look at this, like clear skies completely.
So
just
now
chipping
a
away
plan has formed, okay? They're going to dive, and they're going to put a barrier on Winston, and Winston's going to jump in. And Labata says, okay, I'm going to jump in from the opposite side. This should be a signal for Artie to get into position, because then what happens, and Labata should be making sure that Artie is ready. So check with your Zarya before you jump, because otherwise this happens. And I think the reason why Artie didn't bubble here is actually very simple. I'm going to highlight it in a moment. It's this. It's this thing. This fucking, like, there's a gravity vortex here that pulls all abilities towards it, where even though the reticle here is saying that this is going to go on Winston, I guarantee you that if he presses E, Lucio will somehow get the bubble and probably get the nano boost on top of it somehow.
Like everything gravitates to him, even abilities that are not ready.
It will suck out all of the ultimates of the team. Like, this fucking vortex appeared here. So just make sure that the Zarya is ready, because then what happens is disaster. And this could have been a really strong push if it worked, but what ends up happening is Labata jumps and lands and does probably the worst thing that she could do, just being brutal, where she's jumped and then she's tucked into this doorway. And so you have no barrier, you're in a tiny space, and then Reinhardt just goes, welp! I'm going to put my big boy trousers on, and I'm going to charge right through and kill you. And that's what happens. And
the
then,
shield was good.
Yeah, the shield was great.
Good, but it's just, you need to know that people don't have your back there. And again, that's a call that Artie should, I don't know if he makes it all, and like, I can't see you, I can't shield you, can't do anything. It's very difficult to play Winston, because you need to keep yourself on a leash. You need to not get carried away.
I want to say, when I saw this from like 6am's perspective, I thought this was like a really tight, precise engage. I thought, wow, they've really got their shit together. Like, look how clean this is. Look how good this engage is. Oh my god. And then, like, OWC side, it's actually a complete clusterfuck in the comms, but somehow still get a really good drop down out of it.
This is what I mean with, like, I think OWC are technically sort of better players.
Yes.
But they should have the confidence to be able to take that fight further up. It's just they don't. And, like, they won a lot of the engagements on this part of the map to the point that I think it went into overtime. But it's just, you don't want to be fighting with your back to the wall like that, because you have no room for error anymore. And it's your own fault for not engaging further up on the map. This is what I mean, is like playing on defense aggressively. A very common saying is the best form of attack is a good defense. It's completely the other way around in Overwatch.
I actually want to, I'm sorry, Labata, I'm going to keep calling you out. I know it feels bad, man. You knew the push was going to be coming from, like, we knew, this means from blue because it doesn't stand out. We knew the push was probably going to be coming from up here. I don't know why people are still standing down here. Like, you guys have vision, you have infrasight on the enemy team, you know where they are. We should be getting into position a lot faster. I don't know why Labata stayed down here and then used jump to get up here, because then that delayed the push further while waiting for jump to come back on, and then the jump can happen. For the second one to, like, pop through. I don't know why we're waiting. Like, why are we here as Winston? Did we get lost? Did there be a clear call? Like, Artie's clearly waiting. Artie wants to go. Guys, we need to get onto this high ground. We need to figure out what we're doing. And then go and bloody do it. Because now infrasight's worn off.
Wait for Lobata's jump to recharge.
And yeah, then the call gets made by Miranda of wait for the jump to recharge, and then we decide to push through here. You probably could have just gone.
It's again, it's similar to OWC, just a really slow.
Metabrit is the fucking hero. Holy shit! Like, look at this. Get down, Mr. President, and then catches it. Just catch. That's actually really, really nicely done. Does manage to catch the Lucio. Almost a good Dragon Blade, and it turns out like this engage drop down was more based on the fact that there's a shit ton of stuff coming onto the high ground, and then the res happens.
Again, it's you had to drop down. Ideally, you won't want to, but because the point is so close, you had to drop down. You did the right thing. We've also got to accept that you're going to die in that situation. Again, this was a really good res by Sonority.
Sonority.
You guys by another name on Discord. I'm trying to remember what it is. Polo. I'm just going to.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good drop down, and then I realized, oh wait, they're running from Jimmy, like they're running from the Genji, and then it just so happens that it really works very well. So yeah, like good instincts just needs clean calls to back it up, just to verify the instincts.
Getting picks, but monkey's on me right now.
Call him Polo. Okay, it's Polo.
I'm getting picks.
Let's go right.
He's actually not a sub,
Oh.
and I feel like that disqualifies the team.
Oh, is that the excuse you're going with? Okay.
Well, I think they won all the rounds, but they didn't win this match. And as they sort of pointed out, a better team is better than better players. Yeah, I mean, like, look at Cloud9, because they've got like a star-studded... Same as NRG, they have a star-studded cast, but very often they struggle to play as a team and synergize well. Now, luckily, Cloud9 have got a really good coaching with Bishop, and they're looking a hell of a lot stronger. I'm really excited to see what that works, but you are completely right. But I think it's just both teams have very common mistakes that they can iron out, and I'm really excited to see, like, round 2. But bear in mind that these are scrims for an opportunity to practice, and try not to make them too competitive. Teams do this a lot. They go, oh yeah, we beat so-and-so in scrims. It doesn't matter. They're scrims. It's practice.
Like, don't make these too... Like, don't take them too seriously. Like, they're to have fun. Like, this is a custom game lobby that's been set up for two teams to have fun against each other, and hopefully this was fun. I imagine this was a lot of fun. Like, I've played scrims and like actual fucking pro scrims. They are super fun. I just want to point out, like, we have a plan here. At least I believe there's a plan here of we're going to just do the same dive, which is perfectly fine. Like, they've dropped the bubble here. And then Winston jumps in. Where's the calls? What are the damage calls going out? I want to listen.
Monkey just called on me and back.
Okay, Monkey Discord. Monkey's jumping around. It's a good Earth Shatter. Clark's trying to do what damage he can.
Just get thrown around.
Yeah.
Below.
Good following, good call of Discord. This would have been a good opportunity for Artie to probably go a little bit more aggro and just finish off the kill here. Like, I want to do... I noticed this, Artie. You have to follow the DPS calls as well as Zarya. Even if you are on 0 charge, that little bit of extra damage could make the difference. Because they're like, you know, Discord's over on Metabrit, for example. Let's try and throw a bit of damage on him. Then it sort of gets changed around, I think. Like, let's try and follow that Discord as much as we can, because we are technically part of the DPS, even if we are on 0% charge. It's a bit of a tragedy. And then
it just looks like you're spoilt for choice of who to attack, so you're just dipping and chewing on everyone instead of focusing one person down.
Are we on 0 charge? We just never really get a good opportunity, do we?
Monkey just called on me.
I think the monkey's just knocking people around too much. Yeah, and then we get stunned, so all the charge we have bleeds out. And then a little bit preemptive with the bubble. Good on the Zenyatta, like, I'm fine with that. Good high noon. That was P. Clark's job. I guess he was out of line of sight. Or I guess the monkey was on him. Monkey was on him. Feels bad, man. And this, again, I think this is just OWC's team having good instincts, playing it properly, landing shots, getting kills.
We have one push.
Okay. But what I like is, in the comms, we have... Okay, so you're calling out, you're making plans. We have one push. You know you have one push. You know you have Graviton ready. You know what you've got to do. You have your win condition.
You've also got Farah on this push as well, so you have an element of surprise.
Still out, walking out of
Pick him up around here.
Again, that should have probably come out a lot sooner. That's a lot of time that Widow wasn't really doing much. I can't remember if you did for Widow to something else and then Farah, but...
No, you say Widow that last fight.
Yeah, and again, it was just like... didn't see in the kill feed much. It's just that because they were prepared for you, that's it. Like, you did so well on Widow before because they didn't expect it, and they didn't have time to react. They reacted, catch them on the other foot sort of thing.
We could have gone a bit more aggressive with the Graviton here, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing stopping us grabbing this. And you would just pull these people in. And we know that the Mercy's tucked down here. Like, well, can't see that very well, but she's tucked down here because you can see the blue beam. So we know where Mercy is as well. She got a lot of healing done the last fight. She might not have it. She might have it. Best to consider that she does have it. Because you can then cancel the momentum and then dropping down and just grab them all up here, no problem. Luckily, the grab still is pretty good. You still catch, I think, 4 people. Bit early on the Transcendence. I'm not sure what prompted that. Might be the visor, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it was the visor. Okay, then it's fine. Res happens. Re-engage happens.
And this is just much more messy from OWC, but we've seen that OWC can win those fights fairly comfortably. It's just here they sort of bleed out one by one.
I think they make a mistake of, like, they're all just clumping. Yeah. Like, you can see Winston's getting maximum value. Farah gets a rocket, right click lands at the same time, and 2 people explode. Like, They all congregated together while
Especially
Jimmy
with the
and-
support as well, you don't want to be stood right next to them constantly.
And hey, Labata did a good job as well. Labata, I want to highlight. Hunted down and killed the Mercy as well. Somehow got the Mercy during all of that. Good job. You can put a lot of pressure on a Mercy as Winston. It's like very difficult to survive. Trying to get rid of the monkey. This was disappointing. Guys, come on. You can kill this faster. You can do this faster than you did. You have got like 5 people shooting that. You didn't have to give them a chance to reinforce here. Because now you have to use sound barrier. Which kind of sucks. Luckily, they're still kind of just stalling. They're not really going to be able to retake this unless something disastrous happens. So we're still feeling alright. And on the bright side, like this, honestly, I think, like, you could have killed this Winston faster, but being honest, OWC should have made the call now to not re-engage this. Because what happens afterwards is the Winston, basically, he can stall for as long as he can, but he is still giving them like 1,000 ult.
Yeah.
And then these two, this is 200 ult, 200 ult extra coming in. And I just want to point out, like, at the start of this stalling, like, just look at Zarya, who's on 0 charge. So Winston is ulting now. We're on 33%, and we're building, and we're still on 0 charge. So we're doing, like, the least damage out of everyone. And we finished this on, like, 55 to 60% charge. So we gained 30 charge just off of this
I don't
stall.
know why meta goes to sort of kill off the Zarya. Of all people, you want to be looking for the smaller health target so you can flashbang and kill, but this was just good for the first character that you see. But yeah, this is like...
65,
just giving
67,
this up and prepared,
68.
like both teams have ults now. This is a much messier gauge for OWC now that they have to sort of fight with this.
And because of that,
Scary for Pyro.
because like you've got no high ground control, and as such, the team can start rolling forward. Especially when you start getting here. Now that we have the Diva as well, I think that was just to help with the final fight to get there faster. Like they can really start pushing this high ground aggressively. Diva is actually very good for breaking this final point. And because Infra had to get out, had to run out here, he couldn't swap character as well, so he's stuck on Winston. Or is that Infra, or is that Hansi? Oh.
It's Pyro. It's Pyro that did it.
Pyro, yeah, okay, sorry. I'm getting people confused. Yeah, so Pyro is stuck on Winston, not the most useful hero at the moment. And Artie's almost ready to go with another Grav. Like, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, you gifted them that, basically. This is another thing as well that Hansi does. He gets knocked back and then sort of gives up the... You know, they want to knock you down. They want to engage with you on the ground. I know that they're really close to the point that you have to do something about it. But it's like they're trying to knock you down. You manage to stay up, but then you just drop down anyway.
Yeah.
It's like a good example is like kickboxing. Some kickboxers like to fight to ground. To bring you down and sort of pin you and stuff like that, whereas some like to keep it kicks and punches and stuff like that. If you get pulled to ground, don't go to grounds, if that makes sense. Don't go willingly because that's where they want to scrap.
I like how RT preemptively in chat said, "Don't look everyone, close your eyes." Yeah, RT. Ryan couldn't see it, but I was shaking my head very sternly at the end of that as well. Darius do this a lot. It's one of the hardest instincts to kill. I know how it feels. There we go. Look at chat, Ryan. Beautiful.
Push him off.
So yeah, like like Ryan said, the team is trying to knock you down. Why are you doing their job for them? You're giving them. I mean, the Earth Shadow does pay off in the end, but it could have very easily gone badly. And then E. Clark gets a bit ambitious, and Winston just jumps into him, which just makes the rockets explode closer and closer and closer, and then blows fire up, which is always funny. And then, hey, oh, everyone's here, I'm gonna kill them. 30 seconds to go, and I've just blown probably the easiest victory condition we had.
Most important ult in the game. Yeah.
Yes. Artie, I was very disappointed in you. I was very disappointed in you.
Okay, just go in right side.
Okay, we're going super aggro dive. This is super aggro mega dive. We're back on the tracer.
On the top.
This is what OWC should have done on their push, with how...
Yeah.
Again, like, they want you
Why?
to drop down, and you just drop down instantly.
Why?
Winston could drop down. This is a really good push because 3 of them go bottom, 3 of them go top. Winston's okay to drop down to sort of fight the people on the bottom. Reinhardt should stay unless he's 100% certain that all 6 players are below. He dropped down, he saw that people were up on the high ground. This turns into a complete shit show from both sides, really. That's a huge overextension from a Mercy there to really sort of get that res off.
I'm gonna catch up with this fight in a second. I'm looking for something very specific. There we go, I think I've got it. I'm gonna just go back. as this fight devolves into a massive
Hansi was
clusterfuck.
just too eager to jump down once, because as well, you'll hear it from Dom's perspective. They go, "Oh, the low ground drop," and he was like, "Wait, no," sort of like, "I don't know about that." And then lo and behold, 3 people come top as well and start kicking their ass that they have to drop down as well.
So we're getting here.
Clever push.
Wait, I'm building up to a joke.
Yeah.
So you drop down, bring this window over. Hopefully I've got the right moment. No, I'm a bit too... I can't quite get the right moment, but you get the idea.
Why would you do this?
Why would you do that? Look how sad she is. Look how sad this tracer is. Look, this Zoom isn't working very well, but you get... Look how sad she is. Look at this face. This is what you have done. This is what you have wrought by making that decision. Why would you do this? Why would you do... Why would you hurt us?
Out of pure panic, you got 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you can contest from the high ground as well.
Yeah.
Or like Winston can just drop down on his own.
You saw it there, like you're there with a shield up, protecting nobody. That people have to come to you to get protected, and now this is exactly it. Like they want to bring you to ground to fight, and you've just been like, "Oh, okay."
And like the 6 a.m.'s team want this to happen. They want this to devolve in like a big spread out, big clusterfuck. Okay, good job, chat. I'm gonna bring chat in as well. It's very, very happy with this. I'm very proud. And I feel so bad, Hansi, don't worry.
You've done this.
Yeah, I can't believe you. But this is like where Divecom starts to excel, and you got Clark as well flying around in the air, having free range, shooting all the targets he wants. Like these big clusterfucky fights is exactly what they want. And now they're just hunting targets down. Mercy then has to run out and try and res 2 hit scans in the back. This isn't the current patch because Mercy dies instantly. She would have survived a bit longer, but I still think you would have lost in the current patch. Like. And it just turns into a disaster. And it's like you could have just stayed on high ground, forced them to come to you through the choke, and got a lot of damage out that way.
Yeah, especially with the 2 hit scan up there, that they don't need to come down at all. But
yeah,
you just see how much of a like complete shit show it is from OWC's perspective. That they knew that they fucked up as soon as they put it on.
Good job.
And
The game.
this is high ground is one of those things that. Again, the current trend, they know what they should be doing, but they don't know why they should be doing it, and that's a good example. So, oh, we're on the high ground, and then you gave it up. Like, you didn't know what you were letting go, I suppose.
yeah.
You didn't realise that you were giving away a match-winning advantage. You could have easily won that. Easily. But you just sort of got... You tunnel vision because of pure fear. That's mainly the reason. And it's just... Everybody sort of dropped, and then all of that formations and the planning that you've put into a lot of work just went out the window, and it turned into a quick play scrap from both sides.
Yeah. And then Divecom kind of wins in that instant. Especially if one team has ult advantage very quickly. Okay. Wait. I'm on the wrong video. I was thinking, wait,
Yeah,
why am I on
that's the
Labata?
defense.
It's just like
I was
first
gonna
point.
say,
There
when
we
it
go.
starts popping a bit.
Yeah. It'll fix itself in a second. I think it's because I'm uploading a stream basically to Ryan personally, uploading a stream to Twitch, and doing voice calls at the same time. So it's like you're gonna get some line degradation, basically. Yeah, figuring out what they're running.
And Lucio over the Anna, to be honest.
As well, when you sort of scrim again, both teams kind of know what they're going to play. Use this to your advantage. I know it's really easy to sort of put together the most meta composition, but if you know Clack's very capable of playing Widow, you want to bear that in mind. You want to try and predict it if you can. You get some pretty good mind games going on there doing that as well. But also, Clark has to now bear in mind that they know that he knows, and OWC now know that he knows that they know that he knows. So it gets
Oh,
a
God.
little bit.
Like there with the payload.
The wine before me.
Go back.
Yeah.
You don't know what, like, go Google the wine before me if you don't know what that refers to. It will become very clear very quickly what it means.
Payload max.
Okay.
No doubt from these games, all players learn a hell of a lot more
Yes.
than they would playing ranked. So I definitely recommend, if you have a group of 6 friends, find another group of 6 friends around your skill level. I'm not saying go, you know, poke, FaZe Clan, see what they're up to, because I don't think they're going to be best impressed, but you'll exponentially grow with skill at the game if you keep doing this. Both teams. You just need to make sure that you keep doing this.
She may be going under.
I'll keep an eye.
And like, I like this. I really did like this, by the way.
Have a tracer.
So do you get the call? They have a tracer,
Yeah, I did hit.
and then it's instantly called. She's probably going under. So Lucio, which is the perfect pick for it, is going to go and have a look. Keep an eye out,
Yeah.
because he can still heal. He can still
Hippity
support.
hoppity,
Tracer
get off my
behind. Press
property.
RT.
Yep. And then hi RT, bye RT. Nice dodging RT. Good job there with the blinks. But then why are we doing this? Like this tilts me every single time I see people doing this shit, because
damn it,
it's
I
so
think does a really good job here. Well, kind of just staying still.
yeah.
Like this is the thing that people do. I do it, and you just need to learn not to.
This is a
Find
big
some cover. You've got some nice cover on the left, so you don't get fire struck. But you know that they're running Widow. You can tab to check their teams. You should know
yeah,
this.
you can
This
now.
is happening.
But you could see the
And you should be
big
going,
fucking
Shit,
red
Widow,
line.
Move.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
The second you see this big red line and you hear the crack of a rifle, which is super loud, like, don't do shit like this. This could be a dead Lucio. There's no reason to do that. Don't do that.
Are you
It's
turning it up for the call?
Monkey.
At this point, 6 a.m. pulled back.
Yeah, definitely dive. Come get out of there.
You could have easily avoided this whole thing.
Fucking how?
I love. Oh fucking how? Just what did you expect?
Like you gifted
Oh,
that.
fucking how?
Like I don't know. You
Yeah,
knew that they were running that. I think you called that it was going to be a dive as well.
Yep.
Why the hell are you offering yourself on a plate like that? It's that bit in Lion King where Pumba's on a plate with the apple in his mouth and like the seasoning around him. You were basically that, and you've got a giant
Yeah,
gorilla
definitely dive.
jumping
Come
on
get
you.
out of
And
there.
it's just this is what dive comp works well against. You know better, so don't invite them like that.
Like the only thing, like the only moment I can think where he's confused. By the way, good job, chat. Good job, chat. Just bringing chat in so you can have beautiful. Love it. Yeah, like the only thing that, like the Winston bubbles up, maybe he thought it was his own. I don't know, but yeah, the second this is dive, you guys just fucking pull in this way. Widow over here can't do anything. They have to jump into you. You just wait here and you just kill the monkey when they dive in. You've already killed the tracer. You don't need to do anything else. Like, they can't fight you one-on-one. They can't fight you in the choke, so they've got to dive on you. That's why dive comp matters. And then, yeah.
Oh fuck.
It's...
And then already this is... Oh, this just turns into a mess for OWC.
We'll
Give
have
it.
to
You
force
know
them
that
out
they've
for
got a
Widow.
widow. Nobody's really doing anything about it. You're still trying to pretend that she's not there, that she doesn't exist. Like, we're just going to play this game normally if there wasn't going to be a widow. And it's like,
Yeah,
you can't
switch them.
do that anymore.
I want to
No,
listen
no, it's
for...
fine.
Right.
'cause they even say it
We just have
specifically.
to stay behind range.
Like right now, they're at a really bad angle for Widow.
Yeah, here we
As
go.
well.
But right now they're at a really bad angle for Widow. It's kind of true, but you've got to play
Right
with
now,
the
they're
bad
at a
angle
really
for
bad
Widow in
angle.
mind. So Widow has two options now. Well, three options. Okay, if you're a Widowmaker, you are either going to try and get into here while the team pushes in, so you're just shooting straight, which is risky but can occasionally pay off. You're either going to come from this angle, where you have sightlines this way, or you're going to go all the way around, and you're going to try and take the high ground at the back. As Lucio, you probably should be keeping an eye on the back, just to make sure she can't go and take that.
Widow.
Because if she does, then it's a fucking nightmare to get rid of her, because you've got nothing that can go up and challenge her. So if she takes that, you guys are fucking dumb.
Like we did.
And then it's just like listening for the calls of where the Widow is. And stuff like this, Labada should just be dead. Like, you got a McCree, you got a Soldier, you got a Reinhardt. This should be a dead gorilla. Metabrit should be waiting for this. There, okay, good, kill.
Nice engage, disengage even. Just
Yeah.
move.
Going down.
Good speed boost, pull back. But, like, Toy shouldn't be in a position where this can happen. And why isn't he calling in chat, like, where Widow is?
Cover.
No one knows.
Careful, Widow.
Too busy being a brony.
Someone just said, be careful of Widow. That's
Where is
it. He literally just asked, where is she?
she? Right side, behind.
And then Widow goes crazy and dives on Mercy.
Focus too much on her.
He wants to be
He's
Genji.
red. It's just like, I'm gonna get that mess.
Gotta get that bitch.
This is where double hit scan doesn't really work. I think
I-
if Meta was on
no,
Genji,
no,
this would have got
Nicely
a
done.
lot more smoother. The double hit scan's good if you think that they're going to play a
Nicely done.
fairly straightforward traditional comp.
Really.
Well, the
Spoiler
thing
alert, they don't, and they weren't here.
I mean, the thing that Genji could have done very easily is just like go and put pressure on the Widow, right? Like that would have been no problem because like this is a beautiful ult. Like this is a really, really good ult. You got two supports.
Nicely done.
You get, I think, you somehow did charge mid. What
Really.
did it get the Zarya? Did it get Zarya?
No, I'm better. Nicely done.
What
I love
the
the way that it
fuck?
just splats on the ground.
Wait. No, I'm looking at the Lucio, because...
How does he not get charged? This game.
Oh, Reinhardt! Just Reinhardt things, and then... Yeah. And that... Okay, so that sucks for the Reinhardt, but that's... you lose this fight then because Widowmaker starts spiraling out of control, gets an easy pick, instant kill.
RT snowballing.
Yeah, RT
everybody's
snowballing
just-
is just done.
This is a great position to just...
Yeah.
Like, Meta and Pyro know that you've lost that. I don't know why they're sort of stood there in the first place. They should be trying to tip the high ground before they can. Like,
Yeah.
this is just...
Winston?
You're trying to tax people. You should be speed boosting people up there.
Yeah,
By the
this
time
should be
you're already
speed
up here,
boost.
Labata's like,
They're all
oh
up
hey,
here.
so it's my spot now.
And if you
And
can...
you can fight here to an extent, but
Yeah, they could just run into this.
We have
Like,
to swap the counter with them more.
and this is like the call is literally okay. So the call has happened now, 13:06. We have to swap to counter Widow. Keep an eye on now for how long it takes them to make that swap.
Yeah, Winston can counter Zen, Widow, and Genji at the same time.
So the call for a Winston has happened. Okay, and being honest, if you're making a call for a swap, you should address who should be swapping. Spoiler, it's Pyro. Just because you still need the Reinhardt.
Shield's down.
Alright, she's on low ground now.
Okay, now they're calling where the location is. They have control of high ground. Widow's still taking
Yep.
shots.
like Hansi could be chipping away, taking
There you go, back
like
to
yards
And
ahead
I
forward
saw-
here, but he's just
Yeah.
so scared and
Alright,
he's
she's on low
like,
ground.
I don't think Hansi knows where to stand,
No.
which is sort of what's
Yeah.
scaring them. Like, the team is so scared. Okay, so what you got to do against a Widow is you just got to block her angle. You just got to like make sure that she has no good angle, and your team isn't making it easy for you because Pyro is like standing over here, Toy's over here. What you guys should be doing is pretty simple. It's standing here, and you just put the barrier here, and then you shoot down. If you do want to advance forward, you just all advance forward as a fucking unit, and you just stick together, and they can't do anything. If they dive you, then it's just a Winston coming in because they've swapped to the Zarya now. So you got a Winston and a Genji diving on you, Widowmaker taking a few shots, but as long as the barrier's in the way, she's not doing shit. And then you have a McCree soldier to deal with the Winston and the Genji, which is more than enough.
and you've
More
got a
than
speed
enough.
boost here as well to help you get into position, and it's just not
Alright,
used.
she's
It's
on low
just
ground now.
Yeah, it
Yep.
just feels like no one's...
people are getting trickled.
Yep.
Like there's some Genji shots coming in. There's the Widow just
There you
running
go.
hell.
I
You've got
will stay behind.
Zen.
Like, wait.
It
No,
just
just use your-
everything's been thrown at you, and you're just kind of like, oh,
We're not exactly
oh,
contesting.
oh.
And then this is where people notice, oh, we're not actually
We have a
contesting
pick. We have to
either.
go now.
Good.
Labata's...
Contest would die.
Yeah,
Bad
we're
jump.
counter Widow.
Yeah.
Literally in front
I
of us.
think
We need to get
even
down
like
to-
Dom calls
She's
it out
super
like, what the hell are we doing?
She's fallen
Yeah,
back.
he
Because
did.
Look how
He-
close it is now. What have you done? What have you
I don't
done
think we
in
need
that
that,
time
exactly.
from them moving it from the checkpoint to now?
She's in front of us.
Nothing.
I just want to highlight, like,
We have a pick. Go now.
no, we got a pick. We go, and this go call is happening like because Labata's dead, and then a bunch of people have jumped down onto the point, which is almost
She's super
there.
low health though. She's fallen back.
So now Widow's gone, and this is the unified push that all like jumps down.
I don't think we needed that exactly.
No,
It's like in that
Actually,
situation,
we
if you
need
did
to
get the
swap
pick,
the-
would you have
sorry,
engaged at all? Like,
Yeah, it's just like this took way too long. And there's actually an intelligent discussion that happens as well. Someone asked, did we need Graviton? And then they quite rightly say, well, we're swapping off the Zarya. Now's the time to swap off the Zarya, and I don't think Dom realizes at this point. Because people tell, like Zarya at this point needs to stop engaging as well, running off into the sunset. Now is not the time. But now is also the time. And someone even says, speeding back to spawn.
I think
And it's like,
Take high
Dom,
ground.
no, Dom, go speed Zarya. Go speed the. You need the Widow now. You need the Winston now. Like, you should probably still be picking up the.
This
Winston.
reminds me of playing Theme Hospital, and all the doctors are just running in places that they don't deserve to be. Like it needs the Theme Hospital background music here because you've got the Messi running off doing like getting up. It's
They're
just
going on the
Left
left.
side, left side, left
you
side.
did so well in moving as a team on attack, but on defense,
No,
it's
Widow's just to take
nobody
up
really is sure of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Where's the Widow?
I don't
And,
actually
like-
like this bubble either. I don't like the use of this bubble. If you're playing Winston and you're getting ready to like go aggro on a
No,
Widow,
it's
you
just
definitely want to keep a
taking
hold of that
up
bubble.
issues.
Like you want to be ready to go and just sort of, especially if you spot she's on her own and most of the team are over this way, and she's also done with her infosight now. Her infosight is finished, so you guys can actually go for it. And yeah, as Winston, spoiler, your job as Winston against the Widowmaker base team, you just go and sit on Widowmaker, and she can't do anything. It's insane how hard of a counter that is. It's a bit unfortunate, but hey, Sound barrier's not going to save you from all of this.
Yeah,
Jimmy gets 2 good
the
kills.
barrier for Winston was good there because it actually blocked the sound barrier from the people on your left, I believe. It should have done. So it was there. So if there's somebody in that barrier, which I think they are,
Yeah.
or at least on the other side of it, they didn't get it.
Yeah,
So-
Labada should be putting the barrier down here. Like, Labada's barrier there is fine.
It was really good play by Winston, just really badly timed ult there, but I guess you sort of really didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, this is a reaction to, like, Dragon Blade Grav. So, it's just a bit unfortunate. Like, this is, this is good timing by the offense.
Yeah, both teams were really composed at the start of this on the role reversal of attack and defense, but now it just starts to divulge into mud wrestling, really.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, he didn't get me.
Then just clutch res.
How many
But
reses were
tech
used
weather?
this game as well? Because I think more could have been used. I'm not
I
100%
think it's
sure on that.
2 or 3.
Oh, damn.
I think more could have.
There definitely wasn't
But
one on the first. Well, was there one on the first point? No, I don't think so. No, there wasn't.
But like, it just goes to show how many times you actually engaged up until then. That you
Yeah.
could have. You knew that you probably had res by the point that you had lost the first checkpoint. That you could have gone and just been a bit more aggressive. Like as I said, you've got really good hit scan heroes. It took too long to change. Everybody's running around mad as Mary.
Yeah, like there's
And-
that possibility, but we just have to.
Like it's just out of sheer
Yes,
panic
like,
because
we
you
just have
haven't
to hold
basically
that.
because you haven't finished the objective. You're constantly scared that you feel that you're on the back foot. Like team morale's down because you didn't finish the point. That nobody's really concentrating here.
Left side again.
This is where I want to emphasize spotting. Winston could be somewhere else, just keeping an eye out. Like, you guys, the only time you guys knew is when they were already advancing to the point. Just have people ready to act and ready to keep an eye out for stuff. Know where they're coming from a little bit early. Also, just keep a hold of tab. Like, after you win a team fight like this, especially when you've made a big swap to hard counter a hero, that's the perfect time to press tab. Because you can see in real time when someone swaps hero. You don't have to wait for them to appear on the map. You don't have to wait until someone actually sees them. You instantly see, oh, Clark's not on Widow anymore, they're on Farah. And then you know that. They're coming. But actually, I think in this push he's still on the Widow. We'll see.
Genji on the right.
It's a really poor barrier for Winston to put it
Yeah.
down and then to just immediately jump out. You want to jump it down, put it out, and then ult. Because it
No,
just
Clark's
stops
still on Widow, okay.
a lot of damage. It stops the Widow from shooting people as well. Cause it
Yeah,
would
if you
be-
just go and jump and put the
Kind of
barrier
in a way.
down on Widow, Widow has to reposition. She has to do it anyway because you're on her. But actually, the best thing you can do is jump, jump, attack, Widow repositions, drop down, put barrier down on the team, jump somewhere else, and just keep Widow harassed.
Oh,
And like, good job staying on the Widow now. You'll be able to get rid of her. She did manage to get some damage out, which is a bit of a shame.
Lucio down.
Good boop. Good finishing boop. Good timing on it. And then this is where they start making swap. Yeah, they start making swaps now.
Nice aggressive Lucio
Kills
play.
that fight.
Yeah, he even says afterwards, I got 3 kills. Like, yeah, good job.
Alright, last push.
Okay, he says, you know, last push, like,
Watch out for Farah.
and yeah, good. This is literally what I just pointed out. So they press tab, they got, and you can instantly see, okay, they got Farah.
They've switched off Widow now.
And they should have had this Farah, like, last push.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop the playlist link in chat. Yeah, I'll do it afterwards, actually. That's a good idea. I'll include it in the description as well when it goes on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's an interesting watch.
Yeah, it's good fun. Like, especially because you get to see everyone's perspectives.
we need to go.
Oh, the Genji. Oh, the Grav. Oh,
He
no.
just sort of fell into it. Like,
Yeah, it just gets pulled into it.
Look right
Good
and look
res.
left before you cross the road. Because there might be a black hole in it. And then a cyborg ninja chasing you down.
And honestly, like, you should have known the Grav was coming.
Oh, I couldn't amp it up.
I have a lot of problems with people, like, dancing around a payload's good and all with Lucio, but you didn't have to do it there, especially when they have a Winston.
Yeah.
You just you could have easily just sort of backed off in that sort
this-
of back right corner, but you're just in the thick of it and you just die instantly. You
This
could
is
have
where
easily
everyone just
avoided
jump
that.
together, rocket, right click, everything lands at the same point, and everyone dies. You want
Like,
gains
you were
your
put
POV? If you
together
got
with
it.
a black
Meta.
hole, and then you voluntarily put yourself in a fake graviton almost.
We can come back to the tests if
That I'm surprised one of you didn't go, oh, no, the Doppelstein. And you just stood together and you all died anyway. Like, spread a little. Like, again, you stood right next to Meta in this situation that,
Alright, no.
you know, you've got the Winston right on you and you die again. Like, there's the one hero that you don't want to stand next to.
Yeah. Meta, actually, if you give the link to Clark, maybe he can put it into the playlist, so even your perspective can be in the same playlist. But yeah, at this point, especially once you have died here, and everyone else is going down, there should have been a call made at this point. I think of just
Is there a point in
okay,
defending that?
let go. And someone even says, "Is there any point in defending that?"
Come back to contest if Pyro holds out long
Pyro's
enough.
doing-
Because
Meta-
this is just sort of panicking. Like, I think
Meta gives the
overall,
call to contest, but
yeah.
Let's just see where he gets us.
I think overall Dom just puts too much emphasis on the payload that he's like literally hugging it. He's like, he's
Alright,
Gollum and it's the
fall
one
back.
ring that he's just trying so hard to contest it constantly. Whereas he and the
Sorry,
Mercy are
fall
the
back,
ones
fall
that
down,
should
like
not
when
be
you're dying.
dying. That's more important. Like, just assume that the tanks are constantly going to be in and around it.
yeah,
If you get involved in those fights, you will die, and that benefits
Take
nobody.
high ground then.
So
and
just be like, that's not my job to protect the payload. My job is to keep everybody alive, as well as
Yeah.
myself.
last ditch is you on the payload, especially when they have so many like good close range finishing heroes. So yeah, now you got a hard time taking
Not
this.
sure if we still need Winston.
Someone calls, not sure if you still need Winston.
yeah,
Tough
yeah.
shit. You're stuck because Winston respawned in a bad location, so couldn't change.
Yeah, you can give it a try.
And actually, Winston's still okay-ish here. They engage on high ground. You guys drop down for some reason. And yeah,
This one isn't as bad as the second time.
yeah, it's not quite as bad, but
Because
still.
you all drop down together, so it's a nice engage. But what
being
you could have
fair,
done
like-
was with a speed boost
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
instead of dropping down whilst
We need to
healing.
go.
Like, it's just Diva and Winston come up. You guys could have easily just turtled back a little bit and maybe sent one person down to just to stall the payload a little bit. And you just engage on the Diva and Winston and kill those. Like,
Nice, chatter.
It's a nice ult.
Barrage
Maybe
comes
just be a
in,
bit more
Winston.
aggressive with the speed boost as well.
Nice.
I love that jump. So I just gotta. I love it when this happens to Farah. She just blows herself to bits. Oh,
Haro hates himself that much that he's
I've
just
also-
willing to throw himself at it.
it's the worst is when divas
Me
do
as
it
well.
because they just like rocket at you with defense matrix and then let it go and you
That's
blow
always
yourself
bad.
to pieces. Feels bad, man.
Nice one.
What do you mean?
Okay, let's go back to high ground. Also, yeah, just general, like Ryan mentioned, general thing. Make sure you are putting speed boost on whenever you're engaging.
If they like step on it,
You've got Mercy and it helps us to get ult. Like, there's another thing that Polo does here. Look where he is. He's like, I've got ult, I'm gonna hide.
Yeah, do that.
But if
I'll
people
wait.
just randomly died now, he's gonna really struggle to actually get into the fight.
Almost there. I am on the
Now, we did a Master Mercy today with Evie. We actually bring up the hide and res mechanic
they
of
might go
Mercy's
under.
play.
Fuck us.
And it's
Yeah, they're
like,
going under.
No.
If they have ults and they're going to chase you down with them, yeah, pause it here because this is where it goes off to shit. If they don't have ults, you can be around, darting around, just being hard to hit. If they do have ults like a Genji one and they're willing to hunt you down, then yeah, it's gonna turn into shit.
This
Basically.
6 a.m.'s face. Like when
Don't
they
put
do.
too much emphasis on Don't put too much emphasis on hiding out of the fight because your healing is still needed. Just because you have res doesn't mean that you can go and, hide under a desk in the back office where the sombra files are. You've still got to be involved in the fight.
Sorry, I'm getting entranced with Widowmaker. There we go. Let's turn this back to normal. Turn this to 0.5.
Why have you done this?
Let's go back. Go back for more. Wait for the timing.
Why?
They might go
Not quite
Why
perfect.
would you do this?
Fuck us. Yeah, they're
It's
going
just the
under.
drop down. No. You got 2 hit scans on the high ground, and you've
then
just.
they show up on the high ground. It's just like
Oh,
you
And
only
then
want to
it's
give
like,
up the high ground
hello.
when you know where everybody is. Like this is the worst thing. Like Dom has to drop. You've given the one advantage that you had. I think a preemptive ult there rarely, but it just turned
it's the
into
last
shit
fight
show.
anyway. Gotta
Yeah,
use it.
it's- could have maybe waited a little bit longer, but this is
I
just
don't have you.
everybody's not where they should be because you forgot that there was a back entrance. He was like, "Oh shit, drop." It doesn't really work like that.
Yeah, it's. And it's funny, like, I'm going to play it out for the calls as well, because.
I'm
Especially with Metabrit's Echo. Good job, Metabrit. Broadcasting in game and out of game.
Yeah, do that.
I'll wait
I
at
have
the
my
out.
ult.
So, here we go.
I am on the ult.
I'm hiding like behind for my ultimate.
Coming from the left side.
They might go under and
It's
just
just
fuck
perfect.
us. Yeah,
2
they're
hits
going
from
under.
high ground.
No.
The tank that could
It's when he drops down and he just goes, no. Oh. It's just, oh, fuck. Okay. And then, oh, hello. This is awkward. and then bad things happen, and fight degrades, and this is where Mercy now has to sprint out of her hiding place, which, you know, Mercy's made the decision and announced, I am hiding. I know the image is not clear, but she is hiding here. She is in the back here. Someone needs to be standing here or here so she can dash to it and get to the team fight easily. But because...
Machina, legs up.
Yeah, legs up.
Legs up, feet up. Legs up is something else. Let's leave that.
And then everyone jumps down this way, runs in here where they can't get rest. It runs this way where they can't get like picked up on easily. Oh.
Sorry.
They might go under and just.
Not my fault. Dom can mute me in
go
game.
under.
No.
True enough.
Like there's still some people up.
It is nice to also have the voice of God. DSP Stanky's Ron Rule, don't drop the beat from up high. That's very minor at this point.
I don't have
You've got style point.
And then really
Yeah.
far point.
It would have been better if he did a flip on the way down. So then Mercy has to like run all the way around, gets to the fight late, gets the res up, but then dies instantly because it's not the current patch. And down everyone goes.
Alright, that's an ult. That's 2 ults.
Like with that,
Get back.
I just saw like I put the blame on the
Use
Winston.
your-
Winston's fine because he could drop down, realise that there's people on top, he could just jump right back up.
Yeah.
Reinhardt, it's a little bit more awkward.
I'm
That's
going
why
down.
having a high ground as Reinhardt is
Tracer.
important. That you shouldn't just
You
give
get
it
the
up
contest.
whenever
I'm dead.
like you feel that you
Yeah.
should. Sort of just you as soon as you have a game plan, let's go right. We're dropping. But you just
That was GG though.
you're in your kickboxing match. You just fell to the ground, and like curled up in the fetal position, and now they're just like kicking 10 shades of shit out of you. And you
wanna
lost
go-
the match. You could have won it, but like you gave too much respect and time on the second point, and then just losing that high ground advantage because you didn't know what you were doing with it. More often than not, it was just big.
Player of the game, of course, going to Metabrit. Well played, Metabrit. There's a reason why I swapped perspective. Just isn't it so much nicer now watching like clean 1080p? I mean, you guys aren't watching it in clean 1080p, but still, you get the idea. P Clark also requested, because you know we've been running a long time, we might as well fill out the entire frickin' time. I did want to touch on this as well, actually. The Nepal games. Basically, in those, where are you, P Clark?
I haven't watched these at all.
I have. We're not going to spend long on them. Like I want to touch on. You guys try and run dive, and you run it really badly, basically. Just being brutal.